Okay, now the third type of map are what we call our area maps. So we have, these are written, it's a different type of map. These are called QuickMaps. And we have one for each area because in Cascadia there are 3 companies but 2 balancing areas. We have one for the Palouse area. And this map is going to display similar information, but it'll do it a little bit differently. In the quick map, you'll see substations with generation are circles, substations without generation are squares. Same voltage, blue and yellow voltage configuration applies here. I'll see line loading and direction, but it's displayed as a bar chart instead of a pie chart. Now, even though I don't see the exact numbers, this map can be nice because we can look at a larger area and it doesn't take up quite as much real estate on your screen. Okay, so on your second type of system and your area maps, your quick maps, your arrows show line loading and flow direction. So you can see in the first 2 examples, it's kind of like it's a bar chart, basically. So as long as a line is within its rating, you'll see the green is essentially the level of the rating and the arrow itself is 100%. So I can see that these lines are less than 50% loaded. When I see a lot of green, like in this arrow, this line's about 90% loaded. Now, once I'm in an overload condition, the color scheme will actually switch to red and yellow, and the line overload will be the amount of red divided by the amount of yellow. Now, I can't tell exactly what this is, but I do know just from looking at it that this is definitely a source of concern, and I can kind of eyeball it and say, well, this line's about 20% overloaded. If I drill into the station 1 line itself, I can see exactly what that overload is. So there will be a couple of instances where you might see line flow arrows that are double-ended. So if the transmission lines are colorized and the lines have a double arrow, that means that there's no flow on those lines. So either the line is open at one end or system conditions are such that the line is energized but there's just no flow. Whenever you see a double arrow with the lines white, these lines are de-energized. So the quick maps function a little bit differently than the company maps and the geographic map. In a quick map, if you want to zoom, you'll hold the shift key and roll the mouse wheel in or out to zoom the map. So be sure that you're using shift, not control, and that'll move you in or out. If you want to find a station within a quick map, there is a station finder. So I can either start typing the name in, and it is case sensitive, so you have to be aware of that. Fortunately, pretty much everything in Power Simulator is in all caps. So let's say I want to find the Gloyd station. I'll see that the Gloyd station is now highlighted with a magenta box. I'm going to zoom this map in a bit and let's find a different station. Let's take a look at Kennewick. So I can see when I find Kennewick, it will, depending on where I am, it will move the map so that Kennewick is sort of centered. Now from any map, from the Geographic Company or the Quick Map, I can simply click on the station and it will open its station 1 line. However, if I have searched for a station, I have to hit this clear SEL button, clear selection, to get rid of that icon before I can actually click on the station to open its 1 line. Now when you do that from a quick map, it's going to open in a new window. So that one actually opened off screen for me. And then from there on, every time I click on a different station, it's going to open, but inside of that same window. So that way, it's mostly to preserve your screen real estate and usage, so you don't have 27 windows open full of things that you don't necessarily need. Okay, so the use of these different maps will be very helpful to you to help determine the difference between the company boundaries and the area boundaries within Cascadia. Okay, and that concludes our video on system maps and how to use them.